In today's world, it's so easy to access information in the blink of an eye. Thanks to media and the internet, we have access to information about everything and anything we're curious about. But with this information being so readily accessible, it's important for us to be savvy consumers of the information, particularly when we're looking up health information. And this is especially true for people who struggle with health anxiety. This is a continuation of our video series on how to manage health anxiety. And in the previous video, we talked about how to use thought records to evaluate beliefs and thoughts related to physical sensations that contribute to health anxiety fears. And part of completing the thought diaries requires a person to consider the actual evidence that supports and discounts the beliefs related to the physical sensations that are so scary or fearful. But this raises the question of how do you tell whether information is actually accurate or not? Imagine you have a minor headache and you start Googling your symptoms. You might stumble upon a website that looks legitimate, listing out all sorts of scary possibilities. But how reliable is that information? You see, here's the catch. Unlike medical journals or reputable health organization websites, a lot of health information online isn't quality controlled. Sometimes a website can look really polished and professional, yet the content might be outdated or even promote fringe ideas or just be plain wrong. And this can be incredibly confusing. You might end up with conflicting messages about your diet, medications, or even the seriousness of symptoms. Should I cut out gluten entirely? I might wonder. Or is this a sign of something life-threatening? These mixed messages can make it difficult to know what steps to take and can even lead a person to avoid seeking professional medical help even when they truly need it. The danger lies in making important health decisions based on inaccurate or untrue information. Remember, the internet is this gargantuan space, and unfortunately, not everything you read or come across online is created equally. So how do we become smarter consumers of health information? Now, in order to understand some of the complexities of this, it's important to recognize and understand how information seeking relates to anxiety. Imagine I'm feeling a pang or a tightness in my chest, and my mind races to the worst case scenario. Maybe I'm having a heart attack. So I grab my phone and I type anxiety and heart attacks into Google. Seems natural, right? But here's the problem. Search engines can actually fuel our anxieties. You see, when I type in those keywords, the internet tends to present information that confirms my fears. It filters in websites that discusses the connection between worry and heart attacks, but might not show the results that debunk that myth or explain the differences between anxiety-related chest tightness and a true cardiac event. This confirmation bias involved in searching up these keywords strengthens my initial worry, making me believe that there's a direct link between my anxiety and a potential heart attack. Think about it like this. Imagine searching for a particular type of car. You'll see all of the websites and reviews that focus on that particular model. The search engine isn't showing you all of the available cars to you, just the cars that fit your initial search. The same thing happens with health information online. It reinforces what you're already looking for, which can be very anxiety-provoking. So there are a couple of things that you can do to try and limit this confirmation bias that you're getting from online searches. And the first thing you can do is to reframe or rephrase the search terms that you're looking for. So if you're having chest tightness, instead of typing anxiety and heart attacks, which can fuel your anxiety by focusing on the worst outcome, What you want to do is to try searching for something broader, like what causes heart attacks or leading causes of heart attacks. What this does is it widens your search and provides a more balanced perspective. The other thing you can do is to explore different viewpoints. Imagine you're curious about the potential risks of drinking coffee, and so what you might initially search is coffee bad for you? Based on maybe a recent article you've read or a conversation you overheard. Now, this search is likely to return results highlighting the potential downsides of coffee, and this may lead to me, getting worried about coffee increasing my anxiety or causing sleep problems. But what about also searching, is coffee good for you? Now, in doing so, what you expose yourself to is information that highlights potential benefits like improved cognitive function or reduced risk of certain diseases. So this broader perspective helps you avoid getting stuck in an echo chamber of negativity that often results by certain search terms that we use. You see, both positive and negative viewpoints exist for most health topics. Examining both sides allows you to weigh the evidence and form a more informed opinion. For example, you might learn that moderate coffee consumption can be part of a healthy lifestyle for some people, while others might just be a bit more sensitive to its effects, and should probably avoid it. So it's a much more balanced understanding rather than is it good for me or is it bad for me? Now, even with the best search strategies, you'll likely encounter conflicting information online because, unlike traditional media where there's editorial oversight, anyone can publish anything online. So what that means is that it's critical to become a critical thinker when evaluating health information. In other words, you can't believe everything you find online at face value. You have to consider the quality of the information that you're finding. And to do this, you want to ask yourself some important questions. And so I want you to think about these various questions that you can ask yourself to evaluate the quality of this information. So something like, who's the author? You want to look for the author's credentials. Are they a qualified healthcare professional like a doctor, a dietitian, a psychologist? Do they represent a reputable health organization like a government health agency, a university, or a major hospital? You want to ask yourself, what's the agenda? Is the author trying to sell you something? Some websites promote miracle cures for specific products. Beware of sensationalized headlines that are designed to grab your attention or sell you something, not provide accurate health information. Is there evidence? Does this article rely on solid scientific evidence? Look for references to specific research studies published in reputable medical journals. Avoid articles that base claims on personal anecdotes or something that happened to one person. Well, ask yourself, is this relevant to you? Now, some research findings may not apply to everyone. Consider details like the study population's age, the gender, the existing health conditions. The results of a study on young athletes, for example, might not be generalizable to somebody with a different background. You want to ask about digging deeper. Does the article provide references so that you can track down the original research, or is it just based on, something that someone's saying with no reference to actual research supporting it? Are the statistics that are presented clear? Can you easily understand how the data is presented? Or is it really confusing, just using a lot of jargon and mumbo-jumbo that doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense unless you hold a PhD in statistics? Does it match other credible sources? Does the information that you're reading line up with what you've read from other sites like medical institution websites or government websites? Is the information up to date? Medical research is constantly evolving. So what you want to do is to look for publication dates to ensure that information isn't outdated. So if you're reading an article and it's citing something from 1978, you might want to look for something a bit more current. And reliable sources of information often update their content regularly. So you got a bunch of questions that you can ask yourself, and the more yes answers you get from these questions, the higher the likelihood that the information you found is credible. But it's important to remember that Dr. Google has its limitations, and that information that you get from the internet and media, it's only one resource, and it doesn't replace professional medical advice or diagnosis. What you want to do is to use the information that you find from reliable sources online to learn more about a health topic. And this can help you generate questions that you can ask your doctor about. Online information can be helpful to raise your awareness of potential health issues, but it shouldn't replace a professional diagnosis. And if you want to learn more about how information seeking can perpetuate worry and anxiety, I'd encourage you to check out this video. So that's all for today's video. As always, thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.